So today we're going to focus in on syllables, but we're going to focus in on dictation. So being able to spell words that have more than one syllable. Before we start, let's review our rules for syllable division. So the rules for dividing syllables. 1, you divide between two consonants. So we find our vowels. Between our vowel is two consonants. So we're going to divide it right here. So sun, fish. So we just push this over here, sun, fish. Another time we divide is when there's only one consonant. If there's only one consonant, we're going to close in that first syllable for now. So have it, habit. The third rule for dividing syllables that we learned is that when there are 3 consonants, we will keep the digraph together. So the digraph stays together. So for example, if we have bathtub, we'll divide between the TH and the T. So we'll keep our digraph together and separate it. So we have bathtub. In nutshell, the digraph is in the second syllable. So remember, we'll keep it together, nutshell. Rocket, the digraph is in the first syllable. So this is where we would divide it, rocket. So another thing to know about words that have more than one syllable, there's another type that's called a compound word. So a compound word is when there are 2 words that are coming together to make one word. So we're going to practice some during doing a dictation. All right. So the first word that we're going to do, the first compound word we will do is bath mat. Bath mat. So I use a bath mat in a bathroom for when I get out the shower or get out the tub to catch the water so that the floor does not get wet. Bath mat. So I'm using a special board. You don't have to have a special board. You could use index card. You could actually separate your syllables by lines. So with bath mat, I have 2 pushes of breath, bath mat. So I know that there are 2 syllables. So I'm going to use 2 boxes. Bath mat. Bath mat. If you don't have boxes, you can always just draw lines. Bath mat. Bath mat. So when we're spelling words that have more than one syllable, we spell them one syllable at a time. So the first syllable is bath. B-A-T-H. Bath. Mat. M-A-T. Mat. Bath mat. Bath. B-A-T-H. Mat. M-A-T. Bath mat. You could also do the same thing. Bath mat. So this is a strategy just for practice so we can get practice spelling our words syllable at a time, one syllable at a time. And so bath mat is a compound word because bath is a real word. Mat is a real word. And remember, these are also both closed syllables. This one has a digraph in it, but it's still closing in this syllable, closing it in after the vowel and making the vowel short. The same with the T. It closes in this syllable after the vowel and makes it short. Bath mat. Nutshell. Nutshell. So you might see something that says, in a nutshell, it's kind of just like a quick summary of what was said. Nutshell. And so, how many syllables does nutshell have? Nutshell. I'm counting 2 syllables. So let's try to spell nutshell on our board. Nut shell. So I know that it has two syllables. It's two pushes of breath. Nut shell. The first syllable is nut. N-U-T. The second syllable is shell. S-H-E-L-L. Nut shell. Nut. N-U-T. Shell. S-H-E-L-L. Nut shell. So, shell has a bonus letter. Shell, we remember, is a real word. With bonus letters, there's another rule for us to remember. When it's a word that has more than one syllable, the bonus letter rule does not apply unless it is a real word. So, for example, in this word, it's nutshell. So we're going to bonus the L because shell is a real word, and the word shell would normally have two L's because it's a single syllable word that ends in FL or S. Nutshell. The next one that we're going to try is shellfish. Shellfish. So shellfish is a type of seafood that has a shell. So, for example, shrimp is an example of shellfish. Crab is an example of shellfish. They have a hard back, a hard layer on the outside of their body. Shellfish. So the first thing that we need to think about is how many syllables does shellfish have? Shellfish. It was two pushes of breath. That lets me know that there are two syllables. So first, I'm going to try to spell shell. And then I will try to spell fish. Shell, fish. Shell, S-H-E-L-L. Fish, F-I-S-H. Shell, S-H-E-L-L. Fish, F-I-S-H. Shellfish. So this is another one of those words. Because it's a compound word, it does have the bonus letter in it because shell, as we learned when we talked about nutshell, is a real word. So because of that, we do have the bonus letter, but only because it's a real word. Otherwise, we would not bonus it. Shellfish. Shellfish. All right, and so I know that shell is a closed syllable. I have my short vowel followed by the consonant, and the consonants making the E have a short sound. I have a digraph. So my consonant digraph is after the I, which is making it have a short vowel. So I know that it is a closed syllable. Shellfish. Dishpan. Dishpan. So with the word dishpan, it's something that you put your dishes in so that they can dry. A dishpan. All right. Dishpan. So I want you to think about how many syllables does the word dishpan have? Dishpan. Dishpan has two syllables. There were two pushes of breath. Dishpan. Now we're going to spell the word one syllable at a time. Dishpan. So with dishpan, my first syllable, I know it's a closed syllable. It has a digraph, which is making my vowel short. Oh, there's a glued sound. We haven't seen a glued sound today yet. So we still have our glued sound. It's still making a vowel have a short sound. So we know both of these syllables are closed. Dishpan. So we're going to try another word. The next word is index. Index. So at school, you might use index cards in order to take your notes. An index is also something that has a list of information. So you might go to an index to reference things, to find out more information. Index. So how many syllables are in the word index? Index. I counted 2 syllables. Index. There were 2 pushes of breath, which means that there are 2 syllables. So let's try to spell the word 1 syllable at a time. Index. N-I-N. Dex. D-E-X. So if you all notice, I am no longer tapping out each syllable because we've moved beyond tapping out the syllables, tapping out just the first each syllable. Now we're spelling words by separating them by syllables. So we're just doing 1 syllable at a time instead of 1 sound at a time. But if, for example, Dex, you couldn't remember, you could still tap it out. D-X. It's not saying that you can't tap it out. If you don't remember the sounds, you could still tap it out. And so Amanda posed a good question. She said, why is it not? If we were tapping out a nonsense word, it could absolutely be this, index, because CKS and X do make the same sound. However, we're tapping out a real word, and this is how the word is spelled. So for some words, we'll just have to rely on our memory of what the words look like, and you could have someone check for you. So if you wrote this and like, well, what is the word? You can ask someone to check to make sure that this is a real word, or you can look up the word. If you look up index, you won't find it. But if you look up index, you will find it. So as we're getting and learning more things, we have to use all of our knowledge. So we'll have to use what we've learned from reading books. We might have to ask some questions. But the proper way to spell index is I-N-D-E-X. Good question, Amanda. All right. So back to index. The first syllable is a closed syllable. I know because I have 1 vowel, a consonant following it, and that consonant's making the vowel have a short sound. So that tells me it's a closed syllable. And then for Dex, I also know Dex is a closed syllable because the E is 1 vowel, the E. It's followed by a consonant X, and it has a short sound. So the consonant following the X is making the E have a short sound. Index. You practicing spelling words with multiple syllables and reading words with multiple syllables. Tomorrow we'll continue breaking words apart by syllables and learning more about multi-syllable words. All right, bye, villagers. Have a good afternoon.